It's finally here! A white whale of mine that I've been looking for quite a while, and it's here on the line, but it does need a little bit of TLC, so I wanted to fill you guys in on what I've been doing with this, how I found it, a little bit of backstory on this thing. Let's just dive right on into all of it. Welcome to Data Find. If you're new, welcome and subscribe. Check out all the other stuff that we've been doing. There's a lot of kind of backstory with this engine for me personally and just in general. Bit of history on the GS64. This is a Western Pacific engine that looks an awful lot like a GS4 or a GS6 that you're used to seeing with those familiar iconic daylight colors from the Southern Pacific. And that's because this is. You see, in World War II, the War Production Board decided, hey, WP, Western Pacific needs a little bit more motive power to get things moving. We need to move supplies and all that stuff during the war, and their answer was to divert a bunch of locomotives that were intended for Southern Pacific to Western Pacific. In fact, number 486 over here actually was the last GS locomotive ever built. It was supposed to be Southern Pacific 4475, but that never happened because it never ended up on their rails. Here it is in model format with K-Line. Now, if you're not familiar with K-Line, they're a great model railroad company that isn't exactly around anymore, but that's a story for another day. If this engine looks familiar, that's because it's essentially a GS4 daylight with a different paint scheme and a different nose. And that's fine because, again, that's exactly what these locomotives were. Technically, it shouldn't have the streamlined skirting along the edge there, but I'm going to overlook that fact because this is the perfect engine for our collection and our roster here, and I'll explain that in a minute. But yeah, why didn't I just pick up a daylight and just douse it black if these things are so hard to find? I've been looking for one of these for well over a year, and I scoured all sorts of online sources for auctions and websites and marketplace and all this other stuff, looked through train shows, and could never find this thing until a couple months ago when I posted that I was looking for one of these, and one of you guys actually chimed in and told me, hey, I've got one. It needs a little bit of work. But we worked something out, and I finally have it here. And I'm gonna tell you a couple of things that I've found on this engine that are kind of hereditary, not just with this hard to find K-Line Western Pacific GS64, but also with the more common GS Daylight type 4449 engines that you can find pretty easily. I've reviewed those engines a lot before. I've owned two of them. They're fantastic. Check out the videos I've made on those if you want more information on the Daylight. But when it comes to this guy, again, similar issues that you can run into K-Line. One of them, actually, there were sparks that were coming out from underneath the tender. Now, on these older versions, these original kind of iterations of these locomotives, all of your guts and everything are stored in the tender. So that's a really important thing to get right. When I flipped it upside down to check and see where the sparks were coming from, there weren't any loose wires or anything, but I noticed that one of the mounts to where the power for the center rail gets really close to and actually started to scrape one of the wheels that connects to the outer rails. If you know 3-rail, the outer rails are negative and the center rail is positive. So yeah, when those two were touching, when the wheel was touching the edge of that flange, we were getting sparks and the potential for a short. So I just unscrewed those screws on that mounting point and moved it slightly over, and to make sure, I put a little piece of electrical tape on top of that to make sure that if that wheel did manage to make its way over again, that it wouldn't hit the metal and cause a short again. But working on this engine did bring up the question again, why didn't I just take a daylight engine and douse it black and repaint it with the Western Pacific stuff on there? And aside from that being a bit more work than I was kind of excited to do, I'm more of a nuts and bolts kind of guy. I can do touch-up on paint jobs and such, but a full engine, I didn't really want to get that wrong. Even though it's mostly black with some white details, it wasn't something I was really looking forward to doing. So I'm really glad I managed to find a working-ish example of one, because also this nose is the defining trait visually, other than the colors, between this and the Southern Pacific versions, because it's got a single headlight up front. I was looking into getting one maybe 3D printed if I couldn't find one of these, but things finally worked out in my favor to where I didn't have to explore that route. So it wouldn't be impossible for somebody to get like a 3D printed part from somebody to replace the nose cone on this. But it's got the numbers in it, it's got the nice details on it, it's got that single headlight in it, and something else that I already did technically wasn't a problem with this one, but I did upgrade the headlight in this one. And that's because these earlier versions of the Daylight / Western Pacific GS64 have halogen lighting in them, and it's great for all the markers and everything and the rest of the locomotive, but for the headlight, it ends up being pretty weak. You'll see in some of the shots, you see it having kind of the more standard, weaker headlight in the front, but a couple of the shots I've managed to get of this thing with the LED upgrade. I got that LED set. I've been using them like crazy from Evan Designs, and those have been super handy because they've got little resistors that are built into them that are designed for, you know, not getting too much load through them, so that way they don't either cause weird resistance or short out or stuff like that. I've put them in a lot of my locomotives, and I really recommend checking them out if you're looking for stuff specific to the hobby to upgrade LED lights and stuff like that. I wasn't just looking for one of these because they're rare, but also because I thought that this engine would work really well with my Lion Master lineup. If you guys have watched my channel for any amount of time, you know I love Lion Master engines. They're slightly scaled down, but they still have great details. And that's something that K-Line has done really well. They did it well with the Allegheny that I reviewed. They do it really well, obviously, with the Daylights that these are based on. So these locomotives look fantastic next to the Lion Master engines like the Big Boy, the Class A, the Challenger, T1 Duplex. They're all kind of in that same vein. They still carry a good amount of size without being so big that, again, they can't make their way around tighter turns. This engine does that really well when it's running right. That is something that I'm starting to look into. I've oiled and greased everything that I can on the exterior. I haven't opened it up to check out the gearbox, but every now and then along this corner here, it gets a little bit weird at low speeds. When it's flying around the layout, it doesn't seem to have a problem, and that is something that I am going to address. If you guys watched the Allegheny review that I did, where not only do I check out that engine, but I also do some upgrades to it, the cruise control upgrade from Electric Railroad is transformative when it comes to engines that either have poor cruise or no cruise control at all. Cruise essentially meaning that it keeps a steady pace around your line, because a lot of these engines will slow down on tighter turns and under higher load, and then speed up and take off like a rocket when they hit an area with less resistance, the straightaways and such. So yeah, cruise control is definitely going to be one of the things that I upgrade in this because it went really well in the Allegheny, and I love that. So definitely going to be doing that. I just don't have the parts for it, but it's something that I've been thinking of doing a video on, like a tutorial on how to install that. So let me know down in the comments if that's something you guys would like to see. It is also nice to have WP back on the line because we did have a Western Pacific engine representing one of the railroads that Union Pacific merged with. That's just kind of something I did as a bit of a way to focus on things outside of UP. I wanted to get other railroads from this time period in the 40s and 50s that would have crossed paths potentially with, or would have been absorbed later on by Union Pacific. So Western Pacific was on our line, but I sold that Mountain. It was number 179. It was a 482, did a review on that engine as well. And it was great, but I just found that the Mountain type engine was a little bit too big for our rails. It could fake its way around our 048 turns, but man, it really did start to just look a little bit funny size-wise. With my smaller scale engines and my larger semi-scale engines, it started to push that envelope a little bit too far towards full scale, and the Lion Master big boys and such were starting to look a little bit odd next to something as big as the Mountain. But I still wanted WP on the line, and when I found out that Western Pacific GS64s existed from K-Line, first of all, I love the K-Line details, but second of all, the hunt was kind of fun. This was a bit of a journey to track this thing down. But you guys have proven to me that it's more than just clicking around on the internet trying to find things. You guys have helped me with this. So thank you, Walter, and thank you everybody who's helped me learn stuff and figure things out. This part of the community has been so much fun to connect with and really learn more and get immersed more in this hobby and enjoy it, so that way I can enjoy it more with my son, because when I showed him this thing on the line, he was pretty stoked. Press the whistle. It's pretty loud, isn't it?
Yeah.
Press number 7, see what he says. Do you know which one this is? What's it kind of look like?
A daylight.
It kind of looks like a daylight, but what's different about it?
It's black.
It's black. What else is different?
It's a different railroad.
Yeah, do you know what railroad that is?
No. Western Pacific.
It is? No, you got it
Northern
right.
Pacific.
No, dude, you got it
Oh,
right.
Western.
You can tell from the feather in the middle, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What's different about the front on this one? Go check it out.
Oh, it doesn't have 2 lights.
Yeah, it's just got the one. This is a Western Pacific version of the daylight. They call it the GS64.
Yeah, it has the bell under it.
It does. What's different?
I know. The colors.
Of course.
And the different colors of that.
Yep.
See, that one's red and that one's silver.
Yeah.
Oh, and that doesn't have the sun. But that does.
Oh, I see. On the side of the boiler? Yeah, do you know what they call those?
No.
Those are builder's plates.
Oh.
Those little plates on the side tell you who built it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, and I see there's only 1 light and there's 2 lights on the day.
Yep. So it's great to finally have this engine, to have Western Pacific back on the line. It's also nice to have an engine this size for freight duty, because everything that I have is either more your kind of medium, smaller style steam locomotives or your big, gargantuan articulated locomotives. So the GS64 really fills a nice space size in with engines that I can use to haul freight around the line. So it's a nice option. It's going to be even nicer once I get that cruise control upgraded. I am also looking to upgrade the sound in this, because while this does have a soundboard in it that I've never heard before, it is still a generic soundboard. And one of the things that Lionel did really well in the early 2000s was they made a scale version of the GS64 with some fantastic rail sounds in there. It's TMCC, but it's pretty much like Diet Legacy. Take a listen to the comparison between this thing's sounds, and I've thrown the 485 board into a daylight so you can kind of hear them side by side.
Engineer, you made speed on track 1. Have a good day.
Western Pacific 485 here. We are ready to roll. Over.
WP 485. Tank agreed. Over.
Western Pacific 485 here. Roger, dispatch. Cleared outbound. Over.
So some upgrades and some more tinkering around with the driveline are in the works for this GS64, but I wanted to share it with you guys because I'm just so stoked that I finally have one here. So let me know in the comments what you guys have been looking for, where you're looking for them. Are you going to be at York? I'm going to be going in October of 2025, so if you guys are planning to be at the York train show, keep an eye out for me. I'll probably be with the other 3 Rails 4 Dads cast members. Been a lot of fun going to shows with them and connecting with you guys while we're there. So I hope you guys been having fun with it. Leave a comment, a like, a subscribe, all that other fun stuff, and we'll see you guys on the next one.